A planned community, or planned city, is any community that was carefully planned from its inception and is typically constructed in a previously undeveloped area. This contrasts with settlements that evolve in a more ad hoc fashion. Land use conflicts are less frequent in planned communities since they are planned carefully. The term New Town refers to planned communities of the New Towns movement in particular, mainly in the United Kingdom. It was also common in the European colonization of the Americas to build according to a plan either on fresh ground or on the ruins of earlier, Native American cities. Planned capital cities. Several of the world's capital cities are planned cities, including Canberra in Australia, Brasilia in Brazil, Belmopan in Belize, New Delhi in India, Valletta in Malta, Abuja in Nigeria, Astana in Kazakhstan, Naypyidaw in Burma, Islamabad in Pakistan, Ankara in Turkey and Washington, D.C. in the United States. In Egypt, a new capital city east of Cairo has been proposed. The federal administrative center of Malaysia, Putrajaya, is also a planned city. Abu Dhabi and some of the recently built cities in the Persian Gulf region are also planned cities built on the money from the oil boom. Prior to the boom, these were just villages or towns. Africa. Botswana, the city of Gaborone, was planned and constructed in the 1960s. Equatorial Guinea. In 2012, President Teodoro Obiang decided to move the capital to a new jungle site at Oyala, Kenya. Konza Technology City is a planned city that is hoped to become a hub of African science and technology upon its completion in 2030. Nigeria, the capital, Abuja, is a planned city and was built mainly in the 1980s. Several other cities are under development to accommodate the rapidly growing population, some of which include Echo Atlantic City, a planned city of Lagos State being constructed on land reclaimed from the Atlantic Ocean. Upon completion, the new city, which is still under development, is anticipating 250,000 residents and a daily flow of 150,000 commuters. Centenary City, in the Federal Capital Territory, is another planned smart city under development. The city is designed to become a major tourist attraction to the country. A list of Nigerian cities and neighborhoods that went through a form of planning are as follows. Abuja, one of the most populous planned cities, and the fastest growing city in the world. Banana Island, an affluent neighborhood in Ikri, Lagos State. Bonny Island in Rivers State. Centenary City in the Federal Capital Territory. Echo Atlantic in Lagos State. Festac Town in Lagos State. FESTAC Phase 2. The next phase for Festac has been proposed. Ikeja, the capital of Lagos State. Lekki, a new city in Lagos State. Lekki Free Zone, a free trade zone in the Lekki Orange Island. A planned real estate development in Lekki. Victoria Island in Lagos State. South Africa. A number of cities were set up during the apartheid era for a variety of ethnic groups. Planned settlements set up for white inhabitants included Welkom, Sasolburg and Secunda. Additionally, the majority of settlements in South Africa were planned in their early stages, and the original town centers still lie in a grid street fashion. Some settlements were also set up for non-whites, such as the former homeland capital of Bisho, Asia. Burma. Naypyidaw is the capital of Myanmar, also known as Burma. It is administered as the Naypyidaw Union Territory, as per the 2008 Constitution. On 6 November 2005, the administrative capital of Burma was officially moved to a greenfield 3.2 kilometers west of Pine Manor, and approximately 300 kilometers north of Yangon, the previous capital. The capital's official name was announced on 27 March 2006, Burmese Armed Forces Day. Much of the city was still under construction as late as 2012. As of 2009, the population was 925,000, which makes it Burma's third largest city, after Yangon in Mandalay, mainland China. Many ancient cities in China, especially those on the North China Plain, were carefully designed according to the Feng Shui theory, featuring square or rectangular city walls, rectilinear road grid, and symmetrical layout. Famous examples are Chang'an in Tang Dynasty and Beijing. An exception to that is an ancient town in Tex County, like Kazakh Autonomous Prefecture, Xinjiang, with a shape of a bagua. In modern China, many special economic zones are developed from the sketch. For example, Pudong, a new district of Shanghai. Hong Kong. The area of Hong Kong is very mountainous and many places in the new territories have limited access to roads. Hong Kong started developing new towns in the 1950s to accommodate rapidly growing populations. In the early days, the term satellite towns was used. The very first new towns included Suan Wan and Kwun Tong. Hua Fu Estate was built in a remote corner on Hong Kong Island, with similar concepts in a smaller scale. In the late 1960s and the 1970s, another stage of new town developments was launched. 9 new towns have been developed to date. Land use is carefully planned and development provides plenty of room for public housing projects. Rail transport is usually available at a later stage. The first towns are Sha Tin, Suan Wan, Tuan Mun and Sung Kwan O. Tuan Mun was intended to be self-reliant, but was not successful and turned into a bedroom community like the other new towns. More recent developments are Tin Shui Wai and North Lantau. The government also plans to build such towns in Hung Shui Kiu, Ping Che Ta Kwu Ling, Fanling North and Kwu Tung North. At present, there are a total of 9 new towns: Suan Wan New Town, Sha Tin New Town, Tuan Mun New Town, Taipo New Town, Fanling Shuang Shui New Town, Wenlong New Town, Sungquan O New Town, Tin Shui Wai New Town, North Lantau New Town. Indonesia. Batavia was a planned city, modeled after Dutch 17th-century coastal city architecture. First, in the 17th century as a planned fortified city, crisscrossed with Dutch-style canals dug in regular grid, the city served as the administrative center of Dutch East India Company. In early 19th century, the Dutch colonial authority moved their administrative center from the dilapidated and unhealthy port town of Old Batavia several kilometers south to Weltavden area. Old Batavia and Weltavden were connected by the Molenvliet Canal and a road that ran alongside the waterway. It was a well-planned community around the Koningsplein, the Waterlooplein and Rijkswijk. The area, then known as Weltavden, which include the Koningsplein, Rijkswijk, Noordwijik, Tanah Abang, Kebun Siri, and Prapatan, became a popular residential, entertainment and commercial district for the European colonial elite. Menteng, today a sub-district in central Jakarta, was first built as a well-planned community. An urban design developed in the 1910s set the area to become a residential area for Dutch people and high officials. At the time of its development, the area was the first planned garden suburb in colonial Batavia, supported by easy access to service centers and nearby to the central business district. This area has become one of the most expensive areas for residential real estate in modern Jakarta. In early 20th century, Bandung was planned by the Dutch East Indies government as a new capital city to replace Batavia. The idea was to separate the busy trading port of the commercial center from the new administrative and political center. By 1920s, the plan to transfer the capital to Bandung was underway. As the city began to lay the master plan of a well-planned new city, grid of streets and avenues were laid, and numbers of government buildings were constructed. such as Kerungstate, that was planned as the colonial administrative center of Dutch East Indies. The plan, however, failed due to the Great Depression and the outbreak of the Second World War. Since Palangkaraya was established as the capital of Central Kalimantan Province in 1957, the first president of Indonesia, Sukarno, outlined a plan to develop Palangkaraya as the future capital of Indonesia. Palangkaraya is far larger in area than Jakarta and safe from the danger of earthquakes and volcanoes, common on the island of Java. In late 1950s to first half of 1960s, Sukarno, Indonesia's first president, laid a master plan to build Jakarta as the planned national capital of the Republic of Indonesia. He filled Jakarta with numbers of monuments and statues. Numbers of monumental projects were conceived, planned and initiated during his administration, including Monument Nasional, Istiqlal Mosque, DPR MPR Building, and Gelora Bung Karno Stadium. Sukarno also filled Jakarta with nationalistic monuments and statues, including Selamat Datang Monument, Pemuda Monument at Senayan, Urgentara Monument at Pancoran, and Irian Jaya Liberation Monument at Lapangan Banteng. Although many of these projects were completed later in his successor era, Sukarno is credited for shaping Jakarta's monuments and landmarks. He desired Jakarta to be the beacon of a powerful new nation. Because of Jakarta's environmental degradation and overpopulation problems, in 2010s there has been an idea to build a new proposed capital city to replace Jakarta. Iran. In the period of the Persian Safavid Empire, Isfahan, the Persian capital, was built according to a planned scheme, consisting of a long boulevard and planned housing and green areas around it. In modern-day Iran, more than 20 planned cities have been developed or are under construction, mostly around Iran's main metropolitan areas such as Tehran, Isfahan, Shiraz and Tabriz. Some of these new cities are built for special purposes, such as Pardes, which is built as a scientific city, Polad Shah, which is an industrial city built for the housing of Isfahan's steel industry workers, Shiran Shah, which is to provide housing for the sugar industry personnel. Tehran Pas, which was built to house Tehran's additional population, Sharaki Garb, built as a massive project of modern apartment buildings, Parand, which is intended to provide residences for the staff of Imam Khomeini International Airport, Shushtar New Town, which was built to provide housing for the employees of a sugarcane processing plant. 576,000 people were planned to be settled in Iran's new towns by the year 2005. For a list of Iran's modern planned cities, see List of Iran's planned cities. Israel. According to Politics of Country Settlement, a number of planned cities were created in peripheral regions, those cities also known as development towns. The most successful is Ashdod, with more than 200,000 inhabitants, a port and developed infrastructure. Other cities that were developed following Israel's lineation plan are Shuhim, Carmel and Arad. Modi'in Maccabi has been another of the country's most successful planned cities. Construction began in 1994 and it now has a population of over 80,000. Modi'in also rates higher in terms of average salary and graduation rates than the national average. It was designed and planned by Israeli architect Moshe Safdie. Many Israeli settlements follow this model, including towns like Modi'in Illit and Beitar Illit. Japan. The city of Kyoto was developed as a planned city in 794 as a new imperial capital, built on a grid layout modeled after the the Tang dynasty capital of Chang'an, and remained the capital for over a millennium. The grid layout remains, reflected in major east-west streets being numbered, such as 4th Street. In modern times, Sapporo was built from 1868, following an American grid plan, and is today the 5th largest city in Japan. Both these cities have regular addressing systems, unlike the usual subdivision-based Japanese addressing system. Borrowing from the new town movement in the United Kingdom, some 30 new towns have been built all over Japan. Most of these constructions were initiated during the period of rapid economic growth in the 1960s, but construction continued into the 1980s. Most of them are located near Tokyo and the Kansai region. Some towns do not provide much employment, and many of the residents commute to the nearby city. These towns fostered the infamous congestion of commuter trains. Other new towns act as industrial, academic agglomerations. These areas attempt to create an all-inclusive environment for daily living, in accordance with Yuzedo Nishiyama's Life Spheres principle. Japan has also developed the concept of new towns to what Manuel Castells and Sir Peter Hall call Technopolis. The Technopolis program of the 1980s has precedence in the New Industrial Cities Act of the 1960s. These cities are largely modeled after Tsukuba Academic Newtown in that they attempt to agglomerate high-tech resources together in a campus-like environment. In the past, the Japanese government had proposed relocating the capital to a planned city, but this plan was cancelled. Overall, Japan's New Town program consists of many diverse projects, most of which focus on a primary function, but also aspire to create an all-inclusive urban environment. Japan's New Town program is heavily informed by the Anglo-American Garden City tradition, American neighborhood design, as well as Soviet strategies of industrial development. In 2002, Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi announced the end of new town construction, although the new towns continue to receive government funding and redevelopment. Sources: Ministry of Construction, Japan International Cooperation Agency, City Bureau, 1975. City Planning in Japan, Hein, Corolla, 2003. Visionary Plans and Planners, Japanese Traditions and Western Influences in Japanese Capitals in Historical Perspective, Nicholas Fie Acute V. E. Acute and Paul Whaley, eds. New York, Routledge Curzon, 309-43. Scott W. Stephen, 2006. Just Housing, Evidence of Garden City Principles in a Post-War Japanese New Town. Undergraduate.This, New College of Florida. Malaysia. See entries for Mines Wellness City, Shah Alam, Putrajaya, Cyberjaya, Petalingjaya and the Multimedia Super Corridor. Kulim High Tech Park. See entries for New Sijaya and Iskandar, Malaysia. Palestinian territories. Rawabi, Philippines. Quezon City was the planned city of President Manuel L. Quezon, who had earlier proposed a new city to be built on land northeast of the city of Manila. Carefully planned districts include Santa Mesa Heights, the Diliman Estate, New Manila, the Cubao Commercial District, South Triangle. Housing Projects 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. President Elpidio Quirino proclaimed Quezon City as the national capital on July 17, 1948, with President Ferdinand Marcos restoring Manila as the capital on June 24, 1976. He then created a metropolitan area called Metro Manila, which remains congested today due to failed execution of the Quezon City Plan as well as the Burnham Plan. Other planned cities: Baguio, Tres Marias, Cavite, Island Garden City of Samar, Palayan, Nueva Ecija, Saudi Arabia. King Abdullah Economic City, a future planned city along the Red Sea located in Saudi Arabia. In 1975, Jubail Industrial City, also known as Jubail, was designated as a new industrial city by the Saudi government. It provides 50% of the country's drinking water through desalination of the water from the Persian Gulf. Singapore. The new town planning concept was introduced into Singapore with the building of the first new town, Queenstown, from July 1952 to 1973 by the country's public housing authority, the Housing and Development Board. Today, the vast majority of the approximately 11,000 public housing buildings are organized into 22 new towns across the country. Each new town is designed to be completely self-sustainable, helmed by a hierarchy of commercial developments ranging from a town center to precinct-level outlets. There is no need to venture out of town to meet the most common needs of residences. Employment can be found in industrial estates located within several towns. Educational, healthcare, and recreational needs are also taken care of with the provision of schools, hospitals, parks, sports complexes, and so on. Singapore's expertise in successful new town design was internationally recognized when the Building and Social Housing Foundation of the United Nations awarded the World Habitat Award to Tampine's new town, which was selected as a representative of Singapore's new towns on the 5th of October 1992. South Asia. Ancient history. An urban culture is evident in the mature phase of Indus Valley civilization, which thrived in present-day Pakistan and northwestern India from around 3300 BC. The quality of municipal city planning suggests knowledge of urban planning and efficient municipal governments which placed a high priority on hygiene. The streets of major cities in present-day Pakistan such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, the world's earliest planned cities, were laid out in a perfect grid pattern comparable to that of present-day New York City. The houses were protected from noise, odors, and thieves, as seen in the ancient sites of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan and western border of India. This urban plan included the world's first urban sanitation systems. Within the city, individual homes or groups of homes obtained water from wells, from a room that appears to have been set aside for bathing. Wastewater was directed to cover drains, which lined the major streets. Houses opened only to inner courtyards and smaller lanes. The ancient Indus systems of sewage and drainage that were developed and used in cities throughout the Indus Valley were far more advanced than any found in contemporary urban sites in the Middle East, and even more efficient than those in some areas of modern South Asia today. The advanced architecture of the Harappans is shown by their dockyards, granaries, warehouses, brick platforms, and protective walls. Medieval history. A number of medieval Indian cities were planned, including Ahmedabad in Gujarat, established by Sultan Ahmad Shah in 1411, Jaipur in Rajasthan, established in 1727 by Maharaja Sawai Jai Singh II. It is the capital of Rajasthan state of India. Udaipur in Rajasthan. It was the historic capital of the former kingdom of Mewar. Maduri in the state of Tamil Nadu. It was the capital of the erstwhile Pandyan kingdom and is noted for its lotus-like symmetry. Fatehpur Sikri in Agra. Its planning was done by the Mughal Emperor Akbar the Great. Vijayanagar in Karnataka, the capital of the erstwhile Vijayanagara Empire. Hampi in Karnataka, which was the former capital of the Vijayanagara Empire prior to the city of Vijayanagar. Modern history. Bangladesh. All except the last one are satellites of Dhaka, Bangladesh's capital. Dantmundi, Guishan, Banani, Baridara, Uttara Model Town, Banashri, Bashundara, Naitin, Murti-Jailanam, Dilkusha, Tekgaon, Kauran Bazaar, Kilgaon, Mirpur, Purbakal New Town, India. The period following independence saw India being defined into smaller geographical regions. New states such as Gujarat were formed with planned capital cities. The major planned cities of India include Navi Mumbai, world's largest planned city, contains a population of 2.6 million. Gurgaon, Manesar, New Gurgaon, Rajarhat, a very beautiful planned township near Kolkata. New Delhi, Noida, Chandigarh, India's first planned city. Durgapur, India's second planned city. Visakhapatnam, Gandhinagar, Patiala, Panchkula, Mohali, Greater Noida, Lavasa, Udaipur, Auroville, Bhubaneswar, the capital of Odisha. Rourkela, Bokaro Steel City. Dispur, Dhul, Maharashtra, a city planned by the renowned architect of India, Sir Vishveshwaraya. Naya Raipur, the upcoming capital of Chhattisgarh. Amaravati, a new city planned to become the capital of Andhra Pradesh. Bidanagar, Kolkata, planned township near Kolkata. Kalyani, Jamshedpur, planned township in Jharkhand. Bhilai, planned township in Chhattisgarh. Pimpri-Chinchwad, Solapur, planned drainage city. Pakistan, Islamabad, whose first foundations were laid during the 1950s. Jauharabad, a planned town situated in Kushab district, Punjab, Pakistan. Sargodha, established by British for air defence. Faisalabad, established by British and later Ayub Khan for industry. Gwadar, established by government as the southern leg for China-Pakistan economic corridor. Sahiwal, LDA city. DCK, Bahria towns in Karachi, Lahore and Rawalpindi are privately developed towns. Clifton, Dha Karachi, Dha Lahore, South Korea. New Songdo City is a planned international business center to be developed on 6 square kilometers of reclaimed land along Incheon's waterfront, 65 kilometers west of Seoul and connected to Incheon International Airport by a 10 kilometers highway bridge. This 10-year development project is estimated to cost in excess of $40 billion, making it the largest private development project ever undertaken anywhere in the world. Gwangyeon New Town is located 25 kilometers south away from Seoul in Suwon City and Yongin City, Gyeonggi Province. Gwangyeon New Town area 11 square kilometers was designated in 2004 by Gyeonggi Province, Suwon City, Yongin City, and Gyeonggi Development Corporation. It will accommodate more than 31,000 households. Gwangyeon New Town was not only for the housing supply but also for several regional goals such as provincial office movement, convention center building, and creating economic growth core in Gyeonggi provincial area. Its infrastructure is scheduled to be constructed by 2012. Since the 1990s, several planned communities were built in the Seoul metropolitan area to alleviate housing demands in Seoul. They include several ongoing developments in Hwaseong, including Bongdam, Dongtan, and Hyangnam, Bundang, Seongnam City, Ilsan, Goyang City, Pangyo, Seongnam City. Since 2007, Sejong City was planned as the new capital but is becoming a research hub instead, with many national research institutes moving there. Between 2013 and 2015, it has 0.8 million of planned population, which is the largest in all of the New Town Development Plan ever. Taiwan Zhongxing Shinkun, Nantou County, Lingkou District, New Taipei, Gishan District, Taoyuan City, Danhai, Tamsui District, New Taipei. Ida, United Arab Emirates capital city of Abu Dhabi, is a planned city to some extent. Certain new parts of Dubai are planned. Mazda City, conceived of as a mixed-purpose residential and commercial area,